I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Joe Biden is old, and it turns out, people, he was old the whole time he was president. What? Jake Tapper is up for the Pulitzer after noticing that an 82-year-old man was an 82-year-old man. Good job, Jake. Thanks for cracking that story wide open.
We stand by our book, and
Yes.
we do hope that history does reward the truth.
I love it.
Can't wait for your book on Puff Daddy being black and dyeing his hair. Listen, whether Joe Biden was slower or older or had dementia.
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
Or couldn't talk, or was pooping himself, or was just a head in a jar. He was still better than this guy, who, by the way, is also slower, older, has dementia.
He ended up getting a divorce, found a new wife. Could you say a trophy wife? I guess we can say a trophy wife. It didn't work out too well, but that doesn't work out too well, I must tell you. A lot of trophy wives.
Can't talk.
Viktor Orban. Did anyone ever hear of him? He's the leader of, right? He's the leader of Turkey.
Viktor Orban, not the leader of Turkey. He is the prime minister of Hungary.
Poops himself. And if his head was in a jar, I'd vote for the jar. I'd vote for Jar Jar Binks. Hell, I'd vote for Jabba the Hutt. Shout out to Bombshell for the pun. Look, if we have to go down the list of accomplishments of these two, there is no comparison. In fact, I would take Joe Biden as president over this guy 4 days after his state funeral. But the Democrats keep trying to figure it out, how they lost. Oh, they let Joe Biden run, man. He should have got out earlier. They should have stopped him. And that may be accurate, but let's get to the truth. Democrats, you blew it.
You blew
Not the
it!
politicians, the electorate. On top of that, we had black men refusing to vote for an incredibly qualified black woman. Instead, they voted for a guy that was indicted by the Nixon administration for not letting black men rent apartments and tried to get the Central Park Five executed. As my friend D.L. Hughley said yesterday, it's because she wasn't black enough and didn't have a penis. And let's be honest, Trump barely has a penis. Then you had the Latin community who voted for Trump for the same reason. And I know some of them are now questioning their vote from an El Salvadorian prison. Then you got the far left woke pasty-ass performative Democrats refusing to vote for Kamala because I don't like her Gaza policy. She's putting Palestinians in a genocide situation.
They wouldn't even allow for a Palestinian to speak at the DNC.
So what are you going to do?
Personally, I'm going to vote for Jill Stein. You know, I have a choice to vote for somebody that sees me as a human, that sees my family as a human, that actually cares about my community.
So instead, they voted for a guy who's given Netanyahu free reign to put Palestinians in a genocide situation.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it.
Trump's letting it happen so he can build a golf course and erect Craven gold statues of himself all over Gaza. And according to Stormy, that's all he can erect. So across the board, people on the left either didn't vote and stayed home and surfed their racism and misogyny to not elect this badass attorney general, senator, vice president. Be clear, this election has nothing to do with how old this man is or that he didn't recognize George Clooney. Dude, maybe you're not as famous as you thought, George. How could he not recognize me? He's the fucking president. He's busy. Biden gave his soul to this country for 50 years. Were mistakes made? Sure. Is George Clooney a self-centered weenie? Maybe. But the reality is that things were going so well because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris that you were no longer worried about a pandemic or a world war or empty shelves or Russia taking Ukraine. Your life was going so well that you forgot that this man, this bloviating, corrupt criminal with the vocabulary of a fourth grader, almost ended the country. And this time, he's decided to up his game and finish the job. You were pissed at the price of eggs, you fragile bitches.
Groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries. Like almost, who uses the word? I started using the word. The groceries, when you buy apples, when you buy bacon, when you buy eggs. And I won an election based on that.
How's that working out for you? But this man saved us. So when you people who know you didn't do your job this last election and are looking for who to blame for the current clusterfuck timeline we are living in, I need you to get a mirror. I need you to look deep into it and give yourself the finger. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. God damn, man.
Yeah, man, we're only here because Joe Biden didn't leave early enough.
No! We're here because you kept whining about the dumbest shit